Hello and welcome to another episode of Fantasy Football. This week we preview Game Week 7 and do a quick review of Game Week 6. It's a bit late in the piece, so we'll get straight to it. White Wolf couldn't make it. He had some weather conditions in Detroit. So I'm joined by none other than
The
Biggs,
Black Mamba.
the Black Mamba, aka the Black Mamba. Very strong. He becomes starts talking stats with basketball references in a Fantasy Premier League video.
Of course,
very good. Nice to have you.
Nice to have you too, sir.
Nice to
be here, should I say.
That's good. That's very good. I'm glad you noticed.
Yes.
It's good to have an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
Although it would have been good for White Wolves to be here, considering how Liverpool went.
Absolutely, bit of banter.
A bit of banter, but no doubt it's good to have an Arsenal fan. I'm sure, and we do have a lot to talk about. I think it's the perfect week for you to make your debut. Your official debut. I know in the last episode you had a little sneaky walk by.
A brief cameo.
Yeah. So, are you ready?
I'm good to go.
Alright, so as always, we always start off with our team and how we performed. So, might not be your favorite section this week, but I'll start. I mean,
okay.
I was doing really well, first 3 game weeks I was in the top 6. Shout out to Drake. That's where I want to finish.
Where's from?
Game week 4 I had a horrible week, 23 points. Game week 5 wasn't much better, improvement but 44. This week was better. I made a couple extra subs, I took a hit. Probably should have played my wildcard, but I decided to keep it for a rainy day, just in case things get worse.
Smart move.
I mean, I did have a couple of people like Holdings no longer playing for Arsenal, so I had all of those things, and I just subbed them out the other day. But while I was preparing for this, incidentally, I realized that I should probably take a hit and make another sub this week, but we'll get onto that soon.
Right.
In another segment. But I did get 53 points.
Okay.
Which doesn't sound too bad. It was slightly above average. I think week's average was 45 points, so 53 is not too bad. Incidentally, 75% of my points came from Sanchez and Captain Kuhn.
Outstanding performances.
Yeah, I mean, they were great. So other than that, my team was not too good. My 3 defenders and keeper gave me 4 points.
Right.
Only because I still had Holding. So I probably could have made another thing. And, my other defenders aren't playing well. Man United ended up conceding. Shaw didn't play. So a couple of things there. Ended up at 53. All in all, I'm happy. I did bring in Capoya and Antonio, and those 2 guys have just been performing. But unfortunately, the moment I brought them in, they weren't there. More importantly, after being in the top 5 in our league, now I'm 9th. Last week, I dropped down to 14th and then 12th, and now I'm 9th. In the top 33% of the world. So things are looking optimistic.
Very strong, sir.
I think I have a bit of faith in my team. I like where it is now. I've made a pretty good couple of tactical substitutions, managing the cap, and hopefully there's brighter things. I know Hazard was someone who just let me down.
Oh, you had Hazard in your team?
I had Hazard in my team.
Right.
That's 3 weeks in a row where he's only given 2 points max. And last week I got caught up with the early game of the Chelsea early game, so I didn't change my captain. I think that I've previously mentioned the importance of captaincy.
Right.
This week I had the right captain.
Okay.
So it did help. Hazard obviously hurt me. Considering his price.
Right.
So it might be someone's or something I may need to make a decision on, whether to keep him or not. He started the season off really good. At the start of the season was all Aguero and Zlatan, but he had actually given more points than them, and now he's in a slump.
So what's your sort of prediction as far as how do you foresee his form?
I think he's a sell.
Yeah.
A lot of people have sold him. He started the season off 10 million, peaked at 10.3, and now he's down to 9.9 in the space of a game week and a few extra days. So I think the market has realized.
The market has spoken.
The market has spoken. He's a sell. The other person who was really disappointing, which will lead to your team, was Lukaku, who incidentally was a captain.
Absolutely dismal performance.
I actually think he was a great captaincy candidate for the week.
Yeah, well, he's one of the 2 guys that I subbed in. Actually took a hit. I subbed him in, and I subbed Nasser Chadley in. Who
after his, I think his performance the week before was the biggest performance.
That's
of the
right.
season.
You know,
No one has hit 20 points. He hit 22.
he gave me 1 point. Managed to pick up a yellow card in the process. Lukaku was my captain. Gave me 4 points in the end. So
Who was your vice captain?
my vice captain was Alexis Sanchez. You know, so yeah.
If only you had known.
Yeah, hindsight is a beautiful thing.
So where else were your points? I mean, from what I've seen was obviously Peter Cech gave you a clean sheet.
Yeah, Peter Cech gave me a clean sheet, 6 points. I mean, across the board, you know, it was very low numbers. You know, my highest points were from Alexis Sanchez and Lukaku. The rest, almost everyone else, it was either 1 point, 2 points, or none at all. You know, so
Yeah.
very, very disappointing week.
So what did you end up with in total? And where are you currently in our league, which is probably the most important aspect?
33 points from last week, and I'm sitting on the unlucky number 13th spot on the table, but hopefully things will look up.
Things will look up. All right. Well, I think it will. I've seen your team. You do have a few glory players.
Well, I mean, having said that,
Definitely, you know, with your 2 Arsenal players, obviously, you can't look past that.
Absolutely. I am flirting with the idea of playing a wild card, a move which I'm not entirely sure whether I should hold off for a bit, but you know, looking at my bench, you know, I've got 3 guys with red flags on them, you know, and
yeah, definitely, and one of them's Scott Dannon.
That's right. You know,
who's a gun.
Yeah.
I think you should definitely think about it. You should go through it and see how long they allow for, and
That's
you know,
right.
it might be a good time to do. Although now that the game week is so close, I would suggest waiting till lockout and then doing it, so that you can get a whole week of player rises.
That's right.
In case there's players moving, and you know, there might be if someone performs well, they might go up 0.2. You might be able to buy and sell, and even if you didn't want that person,
That's right.
you know,
That's right.
there might be some good performances. Speaking of which, let's get on to the next section
Sure.
where we talk about impressive performances. With goalkeepers, I think the standout was Heaton from Burnley.
Yeah.
Did you think they were going to keep a clean sheet?
Burnley. It was Burnley FC. Who were they playing against again?
Watford.
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprising result, to be honest. I thought, you know, Watford would comfortably...
Especially after beating United the week before.
Exactly.
They had handled that in great form.
Yeah, you know, and for the keeper to get a clean sheet, that was an even bigger surprise. You know, you'd expect Troy Deeney and Igalo to at least deliver.
And the man of the moment, Capoe.
Hmm.
You know, he that was his first game where he just did not perform.
That's right.
Yet his value has gone up, so a lot of people believe in him.
Mm.
I think that was the only thing, and Heaton at 4.6 is great value.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't think any of the high-priced keepers are performing that well.
Mm.
Man City's haven't had expensive keepers, but then they've had a change with Hart to Bravo.
That's right.
United haven't kept enough clean sheets. Arsenal have kept a couple now, so I think once we start talking about the fixtures and Arsenal's upcoming run, then there might be some movement over there, but I think keepers, that was it. Moving on to defenders, I'll start off with another Burnley defender. You know, he scored a goal, kept the clean sheet and 2 bonus points.
That's
Keane.
Right. Mm.
It's 4.9 million. I mean, again, that's something I didn't foresee. I honestly think Watford were going to score. You know, Watford could concede, fair enough. They have been conceding goals.
Mm-hmm.
But to lose 2-0 was definitely a surprise.
Absolutely.
The next one is a personal favourite of mine, Hector Bellerin, fastest person in the Premier League.
Mm.
It's obviously not a cheap defender, 6.5 million. That's probably why I don't have him in my team.
That's right.
11 points,
Mm.
clean sheet, assist, and 2 bonus points.
Not a bad game week.
I think he was very impressive in the way he performed. He handled his defensive duties quite well.
Mm.
I'm sure you've watched the highlights by now.
I have.
And you know, his raids up the flank amazing, and he's a young guy. He's just got so much energy, and he's always going back and forth. So I think would you have him in your team?
Absolutely. I mean, if I manage to, financially, if I manage to balance things, I'll definitely is one standout defender.
Yeah, definitely.
But I guess you need to prioritize as far as having midfielders that are going to deliver points and either get.
It's hard getting that balance,
Yeah.
especially this season. There's been
right.
so many different kinds of performances.
Absolutely.
Next one was Ryan Bertrand. As always, he's showing his highlight. He highlights his attacking prowess, assist, clean sheet, 2 bonus points, 11 points, exactly the same as Bellerin and Daley Blind from United. 2 assists for his 10 points and 2 bonus points.
And what's he going for?
He's got 5.6 million.
5.6
So,
million.
it was him or Shaw. So I went with Shaw. He's obviously, he's not a bad option because he does take corners. So
Right.
I mean, that's something to consider
Yeah,
going forward.
absolutely.
But you do expect Man United to start keeping clean sheets. Smalling is back, so the defense just got stronger. Obviously, De Gea is probably the best keeper in the Premier League. Even though he plays for United, but that's just this is obvious fact.
That's right.
Him, Courtois, they're the 2 best keepers, and then probably Czech, the number 3. So I think Blind was good because, but the funny thing is, when we talk about these defenders, it's all attack. 3 of them kept clean sheets. Blind didn't, but if you're getting defenders, I guess the key is to have people who, can give you attacking points.
Absolutely.
You could have a central defender, but his most points are just from clean sheets, right? Or if he gets a header in the corner, but you'd rather go for someone who can give you assists, or guys like Scott Dan, who you had. He's known to score goals.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of the same as Toby Alderweireld at Spurs last season.
Exactly.
The exact same thing. So that's kind of what you look for in a fantasy defender.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that's the way to go. I think speaking of midfield, moving on to midfielders, we had Lallana who gave the most points this week. He's only 7.2 million or so. A goal, 2 assists, 2 bonus points. What did you think of his performance? I mean, Liverpool overall were quite impressive. Admittedly, Hull have been pretty rubbish this season. So he was there and he gave that. The other person, the other impressive performer was Coutinho from Liverpool.
Yeah.
He had 14 points, a goal, 2 assists, and a bonus point.
That's
so
right. I mean,
Liverpool really got it in, but yet again they conceded. So
yeah, man. Coutinho, is delivered 47 points, 47 fantasy points at the moment, which is pretty high. De Bruyne has delivered 49.
wow, that's
so
impressive.
yeah, he's definitely amongst the people who've delivered the most. So I think you can't look past the value he brings.
Yeah, at 8.2 million, I mean, he's given more points than Hazard, so that makes you think, doesn't it, about where they're going with this. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. Do you think Liverpool can continue this momentum? I mean, they've had a tough schedule.
Yeah.
They've played Chelsea, beaten them. They've played Arsenal, and we all know what happened there. Obviously, they had the fixture with Leicester. Yes, they lost to Burnley. Burnley, interestingly, have had some interesting results, haven't they? They've had some pretty strong clean sheets.
They have, yeah. Look, I think the chemistry Jurgen Klopp has at Liverpool will definitely keep the momentum going. As far as how competitive they'll be against the likes of Man City, Arsenal, United, it'll definitely be a bit of a battle, but I think they'll definitely be contenders.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think it just shows the depth in the Premier League.
Yeah.
You just can't have game days off. I mean, like Arsenal just won the Champions League fixture against Basel, 2-0. Now they've got Burnley, who just kept a clean sheet. Like if Arsenal slip, or if they're not concentrating, think, oh, Burnley's not going to be playing well, anything can happen.
You can't afford to switch
You
off.
just can't. Another player who was extremely impressive was Alexis Sanchez. His midfielder playing forward at the start. Coming back from late from the Copa America, and then international break coming late. So he's had a couple of games where he hasn't performed, but when he's had enough break, it's been continuous without taking breaks. He has really performed well. He's taking the strikers. His finish was beautiful.
Absolutely.
The way he shadowed himself against the defender, outpaced him, as soon as the keeper came, it was this cool, you know, scoring the goal was like the second thing for him.
Yeah.
Getting past the defender was the main thing, and
That's
he just
right.
did. If we had Giroud, unfortunately, that would not have been a goal.
Yeah, I mean, that goal was a display of composure and strength on the ball, as you said. So, do you think he should be the Arsenal number 9 moving forward, or what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I would want someone else there to support him. That just, again, that adds depth. Now, what if he has a bad game? You know, and those kind of moments can really define your season. The Premier League points were very hard to come by.
Absolutely.
So I think Arsenal need another player. But brilliant performance from him. I think he has given the second most points in fantasy this season.
Well, he's sitting on 46.
I think De Bruyne is on 49.
Yeah,
But De Bruyne is injured, so Sanchez has a chance to go up. And I know Capoe is up there, but I'm really happy to see Sanchez play well. And I'm happy having him on my team. He's expensive at 11.1, but he gave 14 points. But the week he has a bad game, it really hurts your team because that's over 10% of your cap for one player, and you have a squad of 14 players.
So as things stand now, good value for money.
Yeah, I think so. I think when we get onto the segment about fixtures, I know you've marked something there.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it over there. Looks like it's going to be impressive. So I do think there might be some value in Arsenal, but we'll see what happens. We'll quickly touch base with the forwards. Aguero, he's missed 2 games, yet he's given the most points out of all forwards this season at 37 odd points. 2 goals, 3 bonus points.
Yeah.
Just gets the job done.
That's right.
And you could tell that he was ready because the games he was suspended and he played his Champions League game. Yeah, he was there.
Scored 2 goals, didn't
he? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he's ready. I think he's definitely a must-have.
Yeah.
I think Sanchez is making himself a must-have, but the only must-have in Premier League that you can consistently rely on is him. Obviously, Capoe you could argue as well because he's given more points than Aguero and he's way cheaper. But I think from a realistic point of view, Aguero season in, season out. The other player who just never ceases to amaze me, good old Jermaine Defoe. Just keeps going.
Yeah, Jermaine Defoe, and he's delivered 36 points.
Yeah, so he gave 2 goals and 2 goals. He matched what Aguero did.
Yeah, that's right. What are your thoughts about Jermaine Defoe?
They lost. They lost the game.
Yeah.
He gave 3 bonus points. Look, at 7.2, I think it's slightly expensive for me to have him in my team, which is why I had Negredo. I still have Negredo. But he really makes you think, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
So I think he's impressive. Another person who I really like, he gave 12 points. He had a goal, assist, 3 bonus points. Charlie Austin. He didn't start for Southampton this season. I really liked him playing. When he was at QPR, I followed him. From Southampton, I had Redmond initially in my team because he was a midfielder. He played really well for Norwich last season, despite Norwich getting relegated. He gave a lot of points. Right. He's a midfielder and he was playing forward. And Charlie Austin was on the bench, but now what's happened is Shane Long's gone and it's Charlie Austin and him. I think Austin at 6.3. If you're looking to get rid of Negredo, maybe you should go to Charlie Austin.
Yeah, I think there's good value for money there.
Yeah, at 6.3, again, we can talk about schedule, it just depends, but 6.3, those kind of players, you never know. Which leads us to our next segment.